Hey, welcome back to Chic on the Cheap. I'm coming to you from the front porch today because I had to show off my cool lilac bush. We actually live in a 100-year-old house and we have a picture of it when it was first built, and this bush was in the picture, so 100-year-old lilacs right behind me. But this week I wanted to give you a fun, creative way to use the spring that is in blossom all around us for a fun craft that will save you money. Now, with spring coming on and Easter just a couple weeks away, I know a lot of us like to decorate our homes and come up with cool ideas to decorate for Easter when company comes over. And one of the cool things you can do is to make a wreath. But why go and spend a lot of money on a wreath that you're just going to put into storage when you can use all the pretty stuff that's in bloom right around us, plus a few other things, to make a cheap wreath that will look great and look like you spent a lot on it. So today I'm going to show you how to make a wreath for your front door that's great for spring and for Easter in a couple weeks, and it will save you money. It'll cost about $10 for the supplies that you need, plus you'll need to go out and find some trees or flowers, whatever you want to stick in your wreath. So here's how you do it. So you're going to start by buying some plastic eggs. You can get a bag of 50 of them for like $2, and pick out a few that you can use for the wreath. I think I had about 10 that I used, and just hot glue them together so they stay shut for you. And I would use pastel eggs instead of the bright colored ones. It's a little bit easier to work with. Next, you're going to get some material that you can Mod Podge onto these eggs. You can use paper, lace, tulle works really well, just something that you can Mod Podge onto them to give them a little bit of texture. So once you've picked out what you want to do, just go ahead and get some Mod Podge, or you can even use school glue and just Mod Podge on some paper. Torn paper works really well, and then let those dry. Next, you're going to need an old cereal box. Cut off the front and get a dinner plate, and just trace around part of that dinner plate a little bit more than half, and then cut that shape out. Then you're going to do the same thing with the back of the box, so you have two little bit bigger than half circles to work with, and go ahead and cut those both out. So when you're done, you're left with two shapes like this. They should kind of slide and fit right on top of each other to make a perfect dinner plate circle. Go ahead and glue them together so it's in one circle, and you can add glue into the back just to make sure they're nice and sturdy. Then find yourself a lid or some smaller circle, something about this size that you can trace for the middle part. Trace it and then just cut that shape out, and this will give you your basic base for the wreath. So that's what you're going to start with. Next, you're going to take your pipe cleaners. You need to buy a package of pipe cleaners, and I think green works the best. So get your pipe cleaners and just wrap them around your wreath kind of this far apart until you get all the way around the wreath. We're going to use these later on to put some greenery into our wreath, so they look like that. Next, go back to your dry Mod Podge eggs and just brush them with paint, kind of shabby chic style, and let those dry. And while those are drying, go out and get all the greenery and flowers you want for your wreath. And now we're going to go ahead and start putting it together. So take those eggs that are painted and dried now, and put a big glob of glue where you want to start, and just start gluing those eggs on just kind of to one side of the wreath. We're going to kind of make this a uneven wreath, I guess. So it should kind of start to look like this. Once you have a few down, you can put some of the prettier, more textured eggs on the top, but only go 2 layers high. Don't try to go and stack them any more than that. So it should kind of start to look like this. You have your pretty textured eggs on the top, and just kind of space them out a little bit however you think it looks good. This was my finished egg spacing. Next, I took some winter gem boxwood, which is an evergreen that I have growing outside my house. You can use whatever plants you want, but I think winter gem is really pretty, so I cut off some sprigs from the bushes, and you're just going to stick those sprigs underneath those pipe cleaner rows that you have in place. You can add a little bit of glue to the tip of the branches if you think it'll help it stay better, but they actually stay pretty well if you just kind of wedge them underneath those pipe cleaners. So do that until you've gotten all the way around the wreath, and you can kind of even stick them underneath the eggs. And then you're going to take some smaller sprigs and kind of glue them within the eggs that you've glued down. So just kind of take some glue, put it on the end of your little branches, and just kind of stick them in there, nestle them in there until you get a nice balanced look with the greenery all the way around the eggs. So it'll kind of start to take shape as you go. So once you have all that greenery in place, this is kind of what it's going to look like. Looks a little shaggy, but we're going to trim it up. So here's an idea of where you should be headed. So next, take your scissors and just kind of trim up all those branches so it's about the right size that you want. And this is just kind of taste however you want it to look. Then finally, take any flowers that you want to add or anything else and kind of wedge those on top so that they lay right on top of all that greenery. I use my lilacs, but you can use whatever you want. And this is a fresh wreath, so it won't last that long, but I think it's prettier that way. And finally, to finish it off, I took some pretty satin ribbon and I just kind of wrapped it around the egg section of the wreath, and I let the two ends kind of dangle down just to give it some different dimension. And then to hang the wreath, you're going to take one more piece of ribbon and just tie it in a loop around the top of your wreath and just tie that in a bow at the top, and that'll be what you hang your wreath up on. So when you're all done, here's what your finished product looks like. So you need the plastic egg, some greenery, a cereal box, hot glue, and pipe cleaners, and you can have a pretty spring wreath just like this. Now, like I said, it is temporary. It's a fresh wreath, but I think it's a pretty addition for a couple weeks to your front door. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Next week I will have the continuation of our matching Easter outfits. I'll show you Charlie's Easter outfit and my Easter outfit and how to put them together. And I hope that you have a good Palm Sunday coming up this Sunday. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you right back here next week.